You are about to watch Standing Strong with Waylon Myers. This show is to encourage people that it's okay to talk about certain things to help lift them up and know they are strong. I hope you enjoy this show as I want to be real, honest, and inspiring. This is Standing Strong with Waylon Myers.
As I'm strong and I know my life is very important, block out the bullied, cause your life is important. Hello everyone, and ho ho ho, Merry Christmas. All right, this week's episode is the Standing Strong with Waylon Myers Christmas week interview. And my special guest is Katherine Norland. I'm so excited to bring you on this inspiring episode. And before we get it started, I want to read an inspirational quote. The best Christmas gift is to realize how much you already have. And now, sit back and enjoy Katherine Norland's episode of Standing Strong with Waylon Myers.
Katherine Norland is an actress, author, poet, and filmmaker. She was born with two different eye colors, which makes her unique. She is an encouragement coach that gives you inspirational messages. This inspiring woman has 3 books, 2 beautiful boys, and is an actress for Dhar Mann, spreading positivity. She's a proud believer and supporter of God. So you see, she's not just telling stories, she's changing lives.
And now, everyone, this is the Christmas episode of Standing Strong with Waylon Myers. I hope you'll have a very Merry Christmas. And now let me introduce to you the Christmas guest on this week's episode of Standing Strong, Katherine Norland. What's up, Katherine? How are you doing today?
I am doing well. What an enthusiastic greeting for me.
I
love it.
Thank you. Can you share a little bit about yourself to the viewers?
Sure. So I'm Katherine Norland, and I'm a lot of things in life. People seem to know me from the Dhar Mann YouTube series, which is also on Facebook and TikTok. I've done about 120 episodes with Dhar Mann, but before that and beyond that, I am a wife. I am a mother of 2 boys. I have a 3-year-old and a just turned 14-year-old. And I am an author of 3 books. I'm developing an online course, which I just launched called You Are Worthy. And that's to help people who have self-worth issues, self-esteem issues, so they can be able to see themselves in the proper light, to be able to love themselves the way God loves them, so they have the courage and the confidence to go after their dreams in life.
Awesome. I love that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Were you a victim of bullying? If so, how did you overcome it? And if not, what advice would you give on bullying?
You know, at the time when I was in high school, there really wasn't the buzzword of bullying so much like there is now.
Yeah.
I look back on those days and I can clearly see that by today's standards, yes, I was bullied, but I didn't even realize it at the time. I just thought nobody liked me. I just thought I was a loser who was worthless and didn't deserve to have any friends. So when I would get hate notes put in my locker or get shoved inside a locker and locked inside there, waiting for the janitor to let me out, or I would get my frenemies and people would tell me that I should kill myself, and getting left out, not invited to parties, and people going behind my back and gossiping. I didn't really even know I was being bullied, but I was.
Yeah.
And at the time, I don't think I had a healthy way of dealing with it. And I think so many of us who are getting bullied, when we're in the midst of it, we don't necessarily realize, okay, it's not me. It's clearly this other person. There's something wrong with them that they feel the need to pick on someone they feel is less than them, or whatever. We just think, I suck, I'm a loser, nobody likes me. And we don't really know, especially when we're in high school, we're young in our 20s, whatever, we don't always have the mental capacity to understand the person that's bullying us. We may be going through a lot of trauma, but they're going through a lot of trauma. Yeah. There's a reason that bullies bully people, and there's something lacking in them. And when you really start to understand people and emotions and psychology, you get to the point where you don't let being bullied hurt you. You look at that person bullying you and you think, wow, they must be going through a lot. I don't know what kind of trauma they've been through that they feel the need to pick on me. But you start to have compassion for the person bullying you, and you start to realize, wow, I need to pray for them, because clearly something is not going right in their life if they feel like they have to pick on me. They may be being bullied at home by their big brother or by their parents or something. So it's interesting, once you can realize the psychology of it all and the people are doing it, you get to the point where you no longer fear them per se. You just want to pray for them, and you just want to be like, wow, does it make you feel better to pick on me? Does it make you feel better to put me down? Do you feel like, ooh, you've really achieved something now? Maybe you can't have that conversation with them, but you get to the point where you don't let it keep you down, because you realize they're hurt and they're hurting you. I've used this saying all the time, but hurting people hurt people.
Yep, it does.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you. I love that advice. What hardships did you experience in your life, and what were some ways you overcame them?
Okay. Hardships I experienced in my life and how I overcame them. The one that was a constant for most of my life, that I was really my view of myself, my self-talk, my self-worth. I didn't need bullies to put me down, because I was better at putting me down than they could have ever been. Yeah. I was meaner to myself than anyone could have been to me. So it's like, it was almost like nothing they could do to me was any worse than what I was already doing to myself, telling myself that I was dumb and worthless and ugly and fat, and no one would ever want to be my friend, and just robbing myself of opportunities because I didn't believe, whether I didn't believe I deserved it or didn't believe that I was capable, whatever it was. I feel like more of my hardships came from my view of myself than anything externally. Yes, I went through external hardships. Yes, there was things thrown at me that was just really rocked my world. Yeah. But it was all in how I chose to handle it, my self-talk, and that kept me down more than anything. And how I got over that was I had to learn to be my own friend. When I didn't have any friends, or when I had friends that were more like enemies, I had to learn how to be kind to myself. I had to learn to treat myself the way I wanted to be treated. You know, we always hear that saying about the golden rule: treat others the way you want to be treated. But I wasn't even treating myself kindly. So why would I expect others to treat me with respect or in a kind way when I wasn't even doing that for myself? And what we don't realize is how we treat ourselves and what we allow into our lives, how we allow others to treat us, is showing them what they can do to us. If you're constantly putting yourself down and pointing out your flaws, you then give permission to everybody else to put you down and point out your flaws. So the level of respect you treat yourself with and what you allow shows other people what they can do to you. So I shouldn't have been shocked when people would mistreat me and bully me and, you know, put me down and exclude me, because I was doing that to myself. So it shouldn't have surprised me, because we model how we want to be treated, whether we know it or not.
Yep, absolutely. I love that. How do you relieve or manage stress?
For me, stress builds up when my emotions and thought life are out of whack.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily, yes, sometimes stress does come from outward things like my car payment's due tomorrow and I don't have the money for it. That is an outward stressor, but it's more of what you let that do to your insides. If you let it really freak you out, you get into this like tailspin where you're so out of sorts and emotional about it that even if there is a solution, which there usually is, you're not able to think of it because you're so out of sorts, and you've run through in your mind all the worst case scenarios of your car getting repoed. Then you can't get to your job. Then you're going to get fired. Then you won't have money for food. Then you're going to starve and you're going to lose your house. And we take this simple little thing of, I don't have money for my car payment tomorrow, to mean we're going to be out on the streets homeless.
Yep.
Because we can let it go crazy in our mind. So
absolutely.
Reining in our thought life, I think, is the biggest thing. I think reining in our thought life is the biggest thing to handle stress and any other emotion that comes our way. There's this like real visceral, this real like physical feelings that rise up in us. And whether it's fear or anxiety, they rise up in us, and it makes this physical thing happen to our body, whether it makes us clinch and stay in place or gets us all nervous. And so because we're having like a physical reaction, sometimes we make that mean that the thoughts we're having are real, just because it's manifesting in a physical way. But if we can learn to separate the feelings that we're having from the problem that we're having, and not making them mean, okay, this is the truth, that I'm not going to be able to make it and I'm going to end up homeless because I'm feeling a certain way. That's another thing we have to realize, is that our feelings are not the truth. So you may feel a certain way. You may be like, but I feel this way. Well, feeling something doesn't make that the truth. Our bodies can lie to us. Our thought lives can cause all kinds of havoc in us that make us react a certain way, and it seems real, but it's really not real.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Do you have a favorite inspirational quote that sticks to you to never give up?
I have so many. It's not just one. I have so many. And sometimes they come to mind in different times of my life, in different seasons when I need it. One I don't think I've ever quoted out loud, but is coming up for me right now, is a quote by Mother Teresa. And I don't remember exactly how she said it, but she said something to the effect of, I'm just a little pencil in God's hands writing a love letter to the world. And the reason that sticks out to me so much right now is because we sometimes think, well, I can't do this big thing. I can't reach my goals because I I'm not capable, I'm not smart, I didn't go to school, I don't have the right circle of friends, I didn't come from the right family, I don't have what it takes. They only want this Ivy League person. They don't want someone, you know, you yourself know, struggling with a speech impediment, how people misjudge you. And they think just because you don't sound like other people, that there's something wrong with you, or that you're not as bright, or that your IQ may be lower. Whatever it is, we can feel like we don't have what it takes, that we don't measure up to get the job we want, to get the girlfriend, to get the wife, to get, you know, the career, the money, whatever. We don't feel like we have it. But if you think of yourself not as having to be all these great things and having to compare yourself to others and measure up, if you just think to yourself, you know what? I'm just a little pencil. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to be anything. I just have to allow myself to be in the hand of God and allow him to use me to write the love letter to the world.
Yeah.
That's the only thing we need to do, is however imperfect we are, is to just be that little pencil that God uses to write the love letter to the world.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, for the longest time, I was always hard with myself over my speech impediment. And then all the advice Lily and Garcia has gave me over the years, I felt comfortable being on camera today. So I am thankful to have been bullied over my speech. It just made me who I am today. And I thank God for that.
Amazing. You're using it to your advantage. What would have stopped you, you're allowing that stumbling block to be your stepping stone to get you to your goal. Absolutely. And you never know who you're going to reach. Many people who have issues, and you're out there putting yourself on video, possibly being ridiculed and bullied for how you sound, and you're going for it anyway. And doing that gives permission to other people who don't think they can do it because of their issues. You're showing them it's possible.
Thank you. Yep, I know it is possible. Anyone who feels like they're not good enough to accomplish anything that they set their mind to, follow your heart and your mind, because whenever you can achieve, you will accomplish it.
Yep. If you believe in yourself, anything is possible.
Yep. Like all the videos you did on Dhar Mann, they're just bringing inspirational messages to the lives of other people. And you know, Katherine, by all the comments that his video are getting every day, it's changing people's lives out there. And they just love the videos you guys put out there.
Yeah. Yep. You're right.
Yep. What are your favorite music artists that helps you unwind?
Did you say favorite musical artist that helps me unwind?
Yep.
Oh boy.
I know.
To be honest, I don't really listen to music to help me unwind. I only really listen to music when I want to be like energized or picked up, or I'm at a party. But music is not even a part of my daily life. So I can't answer that question.
Now, is there like a reading book that has like helped you unwind? Is there like a Bible book that helps you unwind other than music? What helps you unwind that makes you inspired?
Yeah. A lot of times when I'm needing to unwind, I'll either watch like a silly comedy to just get my mind off things, or I'll just lay in bed and pray. And those are the two things that help me the most. Probably the latter I do more. Lay in bed and just pray and just give all my cares to God. So I'm not carrying them with me.
Yep. How have your experience affected your life long term, good or bad? Did the experience change your goals or change the direction of your career?
Okay, so let me see if I understand this. what experiences I've had, whether good or bad, did it change my goals or the direction of my life?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
To who you are today.
Uh-huh.
And then compared to who you are today and who you were yesterday.
Yeah. There's been so many experiences that have changed me and shaped me, and things I didn't see coming that, you know, morphed me into who I am today. I think the biggest one, it's not necessarily an experience, but it was that moment where I realized if I look back at my Facebook page from 10 years ago, let's say, a lot of it was, hey, I'm in this show this week. Hey, I booked this cool gig. Oh, look at this. I got nominated for Best Actress, or hey, and then there was a shift, maybe 5 years ago, where it switched to, hey, look at me, to, hey, I know you're going through this and you're not alone. Hey, do you guys ever feel like you're just being beaten down? You know, here's a scripture that there was this shift a few years ago where I went from being so focused on my goals and, hey, notice me, hire me, to having this concern for others, because I was going through a lot of inner turmoil myself. And I used to journal about it a lot and I used to write about it. Writing was very therapeutic for me.
Yeah.
As you know, I have 3 books out right now.
Yeah.
And I would use the writing to help others with what they were going through, because I knew based on what I was going through. But when I started to put out encouraging words for others that I wished I could have heard at the time, that was a big mental shift for me. And it started to project me into pursuing acting a little bit less, pursuing filmmaking a little bit less, and pursuing being an encourager. I am an encouragement coach. I'm a life coach. I help people get over their obstacles and reach their dreams and get out of the way, whatever's stopping them. But it all started with, you know what? I'm going through this. I bet I'm not the only one going through this. So I'm going to start talking to others like, hey, have you ever felt left out? Have you ever felt like you didn't matter? And that changed the trajectory of my career. And I got to the point in 2018 where I was like, I don't think I want to pursue acting anymore. This is kind of like, it can feel like a self-absorbed thing, like, ooh, I want to win this award. I want to be the person in the limelight. I want to be. And in 2018, I just wanted to help people. And I told God, I said, I don't think I want to act anymore. Here I am submitting 50, 100 times a day, submitting my headshots and resumes for different acting jobs. And then I'd get a job and I'd spend hours a day preparing for this audition and drive 2 hours in traffic to just be in the room for 2 minutes to try to prove I had what it takes to do this role in this movie that was a dumb movie, that wasn't even inspirational, that wasn't even going to help anyone. And I just got sick of it. And I said, God, I don't think I want to be an actor anymore. I want to help people.
Yeah.
And that very same month, I told God, I'm quitting acting because it's not fulfilling. It's not helping people. It's just like, for me, that's when I booked the role in Dhar Mann.
Yeah.
And little did I know how his whole thing was helping better people. So it's almost like God answered my prayer in a way I wasn't even looking for, where I was like, I just want to help people. Yes, I've spent my last 20 years acting, but it's not fulfilling to me and it's not helping people. And God merged the two of my desire to be helpful with my skill that I've developed the last 20 years of acting. And it just came together. And it was kind of a miracle that when I gave myself over to being helping others, that the roles I am now getting is doing exactly that. It's helping others.
Yes, absolutely. Now, you just did a first ever Dhar Mann feature film on Dhar Mann's YouTube channel, a girl found out she was adopted on Thanksgiving. What did that mean to you to be a part of Dhar Mann's first movie?
Well, I was really honored that they even considered me. As you know, they have a vast amount of actors. I just looked on IMDb and they have hired over 1,000 people to be in their project. So to even be considered to be in the first history making, the first of many to come feature films, it was a very humbling experience. But I also found the script was very timely. And very, very important, not even just to people who've been adopted, but also to people who sometimes don't feel like they fit in with their own family, don't feel like they fit in with their own friends, to realize, you know what, just because I'm part of this family doesn't necessarily mean, it's not always an indication of whether we're going to be loved or not. And sometimes, your family, you don't get to choose, but your friends and the people you surround yourself, you do get to choose. And sometimes we learn, when we have a mother or father who mistreats us or neglects us, sometimes we find friends along the way that treat us better than our own family. And letting people know that's okay, that, you know what, your blood isn't always necessarily where you're going to find the love. And I know many people who were not wanted by their family, who were not wanted by their parents or their mothers or fathers. And they have this thing in them where they keep saying, but she's supposed to love me. She's supposed to, but they don't. And people can be very hard on themselves and feeling unworthy and undeserving because the people who are supposed to love them don't. But I would really question, well, are they supposed to love you? Because if they were supposed to, they would. So obviously the love has to come from somewhere else. First and foremost, from your connection with God. And secondly, your connection with yourself. If you can get that love of God and that love of yourself, then the love from others is going to come so much easier. And if it doesn't, you still have a sturdy foundation until God brings the right people into your life. But not everybody around you is meant to be in your life for good. You know, you've heard the saying that some people are just here for a reason. Some people are here for a smaller season. And very few people you'll find are in your circle for a lifetime. I've lost a couple friends. Well, I've lost many friends the last couple of years due to death, but I've lost a couple friends I was very close to just because they don't agree with me anymore, or they don't like what I'm doing, or they think I'm a certain way, or they don't like how I'm operating in my life right now. And it's very painful to lose people that you're like, how could you think that about me? But it happens, and people misread you, people misconstrue you. Somebody sent me a quote the other day that said something like, the friends you used to know are talking about the old you. Because they don't have access to the new you. And Waylon, you will grow so much that you will outgrow the friends where you're at, the friends that you have now. And my very dear coach and mentor, Tim Oman, whom I lost earlier this year, said to me, look around at your circle of friends and acquaintances and business people right now. And he says, 5 years from now, probably 80% of them will be gone. And I've noticed along the way, it's true. As we learn, as we grow, as we expand, people that aren't ready for that, people that don't want to step up to the plate, that don't want to elevate to where you're elevating, they will drop off. They will leave you. And it's painful sometimes, but we have to realize they weren't meant to be in our future. And if God is sparing you, man's rejection of you is God's protection for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. Well, Katherine, is there anything that you would like to say to people out there that feels like they're not good enough to accomplish anything in their life?
what advice would you give to someone out there who thinks they're not good enough to accomplish anything that they set their mind to?
Yeah. Well, thinking you're not good enough is a lie.
Mm-hmm.
It's not true. You know, God made you on purpose, for a purpose, for this specific time and place, for you to accomplish what nobody else can accomplish but you. Waylon, nobody can do things the way you do it. Nobody can do things the way I do it.
Right.
Put unique gifts and skills in each and every one of us. And we have to stop with the comparison of who are we trying to be like? Why are we trying to be like them? God made you an original. So stop trying to be a copy. You don't have to be like anyone else to be good enough. I would ask, good enough for what? Good enough for who? You can do whatever is in your heart, whatever you desire with what you have. God would never put a dream in your heart that you did not have the ability to accomplish. So you've got to know that you, just the way you are exactly the right person for the job to accomplish what you need to accomplish. Does that mean you won't have to learn and grow? No, of course. Does that mean you won't have to hone your skills and get better? No, of course we're going to keep growing and honing our skills, but it all starts with your belief in yourself, right? Henry Ford said, if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. So stop trying to prove yourself right. If you believe you're not good enough, stop trying to prove to everyone why you're not good enough. That is the only place we fail, because nobody else can stop us from our dreams. There's a small little space that stops us from our dreams, and that's the space between our two ears. Everything that takes place in the mind is the difference from whether we accomplish something or not. It doesn't matter your status. It doesn't matter your weight, your size, what money's in your bank account, who your friends are. There's success stories all over the place of people in worse positions than you that have accomplished their dreams. And if they can do it, you can do it. There is nothing stopping you. So you and I and everyone watching, we don't have to attain anything or become anything or do something. We just have to be that little pencil in the hand of God and allow him to write a love letter through us that the world can see.
Yep, absolutely. I 100% agree with that. Well, Katherine, I thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being a special guest on my talk show. Thank you for being the Christmas episode. Remember, I'm so excited. But remember to always be real, honest, and inspiring. Katherine, Merry Christmas, and I hope you have a very safe and happy New Year's. God bless you, Katherine.
Thank you, Waylon. You too.
You're welcome.
There you have it, everyone. You have just watched Standing Strong with Waylon Myers. Follow the show on social media, on Twitter at SSW Waylon Myers, on Instagram, Standing Strong with Waylon Myers, and on Facebook, Standing Strong with Waylon Myers. For everything Standing Strong with Waylon Myers, visit the official website at waylonmyers.com. Until next week, everyone. Thank you for watching.